and Nick.
Welcome to That Superhero Thing podcast, where we discuss the latest superhero and comic book movies and TV shows. I'm your host Nick, and joining me, as always, I can't think of a witty pun this week.
Oh, sweet.
I couldn't think of one. Are you alright, yeah?
Yeah, not too bad, mate.
And
disappointed, like...
what, the lack of a
no
pun?
intro,
Sorry,
yeah.
I'll get a good one next week. I can't believe we've almost finished What If.
I know.
It feels like it's gone really quick, but it felt like it was going to be ages when we knew it was like 9 weeks to go.
Do you know, I actually do feel like it's been a while now.
Do you? It's like
Yeah.
drag it on.
Not that it's dragged. Maybe it's because I'm so busy, I pack a lot in a week between each episode. But
we've not talked about it yet. We've
we
not
haven't.
discussed the episode at all.
Not
Even the
a little.
patrons listening will know we've not talked about it yet.
No, we haven't.
What did you? Before we get it, we'll get into a full review. What did you think? Good, bad?
Loved it.
Loved it. Fantastic.
Loved it.
So did I. That's like the first week in a while that we've both agreed.
I actually got a message off one of my friends who has been quite disappointed with the series as a whole,
Yeah.
and said he absolutely loved it.
Good. Well, that's
So-
good, isn't it? It's definitely picked up.
It's closer to the traditional format.
Of Marvel stuff.
Yeah.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is. Well, we'll go through in a bit of detail in a bit. So on this week's show, we'll be breaking down all the latest comic book movie news, including a rumoured runtime for Marvel's Eternals, a few tidbits of news from numerous Marvel Disney Plus shows, and a bit of a recap of Netflix's TUDUM event. TUDUM, I have to do it every time we say TUDUM event. We'll then be giving you our full breakdown and review of What If Episode 8 before discussing your thoughts and theories in this week's Podfans Assemble. This is also your spoiler warning. There will be spoilers and speculation throughout the episode. If you want to skip ahead to the What If review or to Podfans Assemble, we'll put timestamps in the description as always. Right, news then. So, first bit of news, Eternals. So for starters, we've got to talk about it. It's out next month, or it will be when the podcast goes out.
Yeah, that's scary.
It is a bit weird, isn't it?
November.
It's gone quick. It doesn't feel like Eternals is out in a month. I don't really feel like I know that much about the movie.
No.
Do you?
Yeah.
But isn't that kind of good, though?
I like that. I like that. Because the thing is, with stuff like Spider-Man, because there's so much story already and things like that, and with it being multiversal and all of that kind of stuff, everyone's trying to find out, whereas people have left the Eternals alone a bit.
Doesn't feel like people are really talking about it, does it?
But that makes me more excited for it, because I feel like nothing's gonna be ruined.
Yeah, you're going to go in there
mean?
with complete surprise.
Yeah.
Well, a bit of potentially exciting news then, if it's right, is that we might now have an idea of its runtime. So it's not 27 minutes like Venom 2 or anything like that. It's not like a super short film. So according to Russian film site Kino Metro, the runtime is 2 hours 36 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Making it 7 minutes longer than Infinity War. So it's going to be one of Marvel's longest movies ever. But that, again, that's got me even more excited. It's just going to be
It means that there's a lot of story to get in there.
Yeah, and I think you're going to need a lot of time in it anyway, because you've got like...
You've not got one main character.
73 Eternals or however many are in there. So you've got to get like all their story done. But again, they nailed it in the Suicide Squad, didn't they? But yeah, I am really looking forward to that. And again, the fact that we don't really know too much about it should be very interesting when we finally get it. Hopefully it's as good as we all think it's going to be. Moving on to another MCU project that's just around the corner. There's been some rumours circulating about Ms. Marvel and how Kamala Khan's power set is going to be sort of depicted on screen. So in the comics, she's got the power to embiggen herself, which sounds...
I love that word, by the way.
What, embiggen?
Yeah, my mate uses it all the time.
What, in the sense of this?
Yeah,
or?
like just in general.
Just in general in life.
It's like, I got a new TV and it was larger, and he was like, oh, it's embiggened. And it made me so happy. I just love that word.
I've literally never heard it until this. So basically, she can embiggen, so she can basically stretch or grow her whole body or part of it like her fists. Well, the rumour is that Kevin Feige rhymes with beige, thinks this is going to be too similar to Mr. Fantastic in Fantastic Four, so he wants to tweak her powers. So it's been hinted at already in a piece of promotional art that came out about a month ago, that basically saw her with like a glowing fist rather than a giant fist. Okay. So it's, I don't know what
another way to view like power.
Yeah, kind of.
That it packs a punch.
Yeah, well, Daniel RPK, who does like loads of scoops, he reckons that her powers are going to look more like Green Lantern. So you know, like how it's like a projection of like a giant fist rather than her fist actually going giant. So I mean, I've not really got too much of a problem with that, but there's a lot of fans who aren't happy with the fact that it's changed. But it's if they're changing it because it's going to be too similar to Mr. Fantastic or Reed Richards, then it makes sense.
Yeah,
you've got to differentiate them
visually,
a bit,
you're just watching the two characters do the same thing.
Exactly.
And that will get boring at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Because he's not... And at the end of the day, we're not just thinking about your Marvel hardcore, die-hard fans. You're talking about everyday people that don't necessarily invest as much time into them.
Yeah.
But you're still getting those tickets bought.
Yeah.
And if people find it boring, they'll stop watching. And
she's not a super well-known character either, is she, Kamala Khan? I think they tried to sort of promote her to the general audience with like the Avengers game, but that was pants, wasn't it? So
yeah.
It didn't work. Well, I think, well, hopefully anyway, we're going to see some footage in Disney Plus Day, which is only next month. Because it's November, so we'll know. I'm sure we'll know for sure when we see what happens there. Bit more Marvel news then. Secret Invasion. So we know it's well in the works at Marvel with most of the cast in place, but we don't really know what characters they're going to be appearing as yet. So Murphy's Multiverse have shared a few details this week, most notably the rumoured identity of one of the show's big bads. So they reckon that actor Kingsley Ben-Adir, who we already knew was going to be part of the series, is going to be playing a Skrull named, and I'm going to be careful how I say this, Clarit? I'm going to be very, very careful how I say that. So I think that's how he's pronounced it anyway. Tell me, send us a message on Twitter if I completely butchered the name. So in the comics, he became a Skrull known as the Super Skrull.
Right.
And he was sent by the Skrulls to fight the Fantastic Four, and he was given all the powers of the Fantastic Four, but he had all the powers, but better. So he could like stretch further than Mr. Fantastic, and he was stronger than the Thing, and he could go hotter than Johnny Storm, and he was more invisible than the Invisible Woman.
He was Drax invisible.
He was Drax invisible. Drax level of invisibility. So again, that will be. It'll be really good if we eventually get him in there. I think the fact that we've got the Skrulls already, and we know obviously we're getting the Fantastic Four, it'd be a good way to introduce him. I don't think they're saying that they're going to introduce him as the Super Skrull in Secret Invasion, but it'll be like our first introduction to the character. Yeah, and then he'll maybe end up being the big bad for Fantastic Four later potentially. She-Hulk news then. So this only came out today. We've had a couple of set photos pop up online. So firstly, we had Jamila Jamil, who we know is playing Titania in the series. So she posted a selfie with the character's comic accurate red hair, which looks really weird on Jamila Jamil. Not in a bad way. No, just doesn't look anything like her.
Yeah.
But
I absolutely love her. I don't know whether you've ever watched The Good Place.
I was going to say, I like that. I've not seen the whole thing, but I've seen the first 2 series, and she was really good in that.
I've watched the whole thing, and she is so funny.
It's still weird to me, though, because I used to watch her on TV.
Yeah, same.
So it's still
introducing Hollyoaks and stuff like that instead.
So for any of our non-UK listeners, it's basically like Saturday morning, Sunday morning.
Sunday morning TV it was, because it was before the Hollyoaks
But it wasn't
omnibus.
like kids' TV. It was like angsty teenagers' TV, wasn't it? Yeah. All that sort of stuff. And she was basically the host of that. So then all of a sudden she disappeared off UK screens and then popped up in The Good Place. It was really weird, but it's good. She's doing really well for herself.
Fab, so I'm really looking forward to seeing her.
Another picture that came out as well, Slash Film posted an image of Mark Ruffalo on set with Jamila Jamil's stunt double in a mocap suit with all the dots all over his face. So it has got me wondering what the hell is going on after spoilers. If you've not seen it yet, surely you have seen it. If you've not seen Shang-Chi yet, well, we're spoiling it. So he's at the end of Shang-Chi as Bruce Banner, not Hulk. But in this, he must be Hulk still. So whether he's just got the ability
or at
to
least
change
a variation
between
the because it could still be our Hulk, but Endgame Hulk.
Yeah. Suppose we don't know when She-Hulk's set.
No.
So it could be like WandaVision could be set really, really early on.
Yeah.
Don't know. Again, though, can't wait for that. Hopefully that's going to be coming fairly early in the new year.
I think so, yeah.
Must be, mustn't it? So Netflix TUDUM event then. So we got the event on Saturday. And while I don't think we saw as much as I'd hoped, we still got a few sneak peeks. But it was there was a lot they packed in there, to be fair. Teasery. But it was very, very teasery, yeah. So we're not going to cover everything there because we'd be here all day. But the main things, or the things we're interested in. So firstly, we got a Stranger Things trailer.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
So, I know, I can't wait for this.
I literally cannot wait for it.
Well, we know it's coming next year.
I know, that upset me. I'm not going to lie.
But it wasn't going to come in the next couple of months, was it? I'm just glad that they've not postponed it to 2023 or something like that.
No, I know, but
The
still,
fact it's
the last one came out in 2019. So
Couldn't
that's
really-
a long gap.
I mean, we'll go through the trailer in a bit more detail, but you couldn't really get from the trailer when it was set, because obviously like all the other series have been like Christmas, Halloween,
Oh, yeah.
4th of July. There's nothing in this that would suggest when it's set, so absolutely no idea what date it's going to come out. Hopefully it's going to be early though. But the whole
Easter?
we said this. We said the Easter bunnies,
Yeah.
didn't we? So the whole thing centres around the Creel house, which the Duffer Brothers have said is going to be a massively important plot point in the 4th season. So
I don't know what the Creel house is, though.
I don't. Apparently, they've just said it's going to be a big part of the season. The Creel house. I think they mentioned.
I thought there was like
previously.
some form of importance.
I did. I'll be dead honest. I went and researched it, but from
Yeah.
what I can tell, it's just because I was thinking, have I missed the Creel house in one of these series? But
Yeah.
no, it's
Okay.
going to be the centre of it. So we see the house in the 50s with, I assume, the Creel family moving in, and then basically experiencing some classic Stranger Things spookies happening in the house, like the lights going off and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And then we jump to the usual gang in the 80s, basically snooping around the house, which now looks completely abandoned, and that's pretty much it. Isn't it? There's a big focus at the end of the trailer on a grandfather clock, though, which kind of goes from our world to the upside down.
Yeah.
So it's got me
I
wondering.
actually did see the trailer to this one, so
I know, yeah, I'm quite impressed.
I can agree with you on this one.
You sound like you're being honest and you know what I'm talking about. I'm wondering whether there's going to be an element of time travel in it.
Well, what I'm thinking is, what if the Creel family, because we've seen them, are not dead but are in the upside down world?
Yeah, could be.
And it's the kid, and they're not quite kids anymore, but the kid's job to rescue them or something.
It's going to tie into Hopper being in Russia as well, isn't it?
And what if Beverly comes back? She's not. But
Who's Beverly?
the one that went in the first series in the pool, remember?
Bob.
Oh,
Language.
It's all right, Andy. It's all right. You've had a
I
long.
hate my
You've had a long day.
honestly, right? I do this all the time. It's
What?
like the story of my life. Like, I know you're going to talk to me about The Witcher, and listen, I can't even
Literally
get.
the next thing we're going to talk about.
I can't even get it right when it's Barbara and Beverly. Never mind when they've got Game of Thrones type names.
Ganondorf.
Literally took me 8 years to remember the names of everybody in Game of Thrones, and even then, you can still say somebody to me, and I'm like,
And then
nah,
you didn't.
no
By
idea.
the end of it, you didn't care.
They were all dead. There's no point.
So moving on, nice segue, Anthony, to The Witcher
Cheers.
season 2. So I've not seen season 1, but just from this trailer, I don't think I'd seen the trailers for season 1, to be honest.
It's so
I never
good.
really wanted to get into it.
So I
but
played
this
the game
is-
as well.
I see. I've not played the game either.
Yeah, so I've played Witcher 3.
Okay.
I haven't got very far in it because I'm a bit shit.
You get stuck
But-
in lava. Like it's
This
Spider-Man.
is a running theme, by the way. I play games all the time, but I never finish them because I'm awful. Anyway, I actually really enjoyed it, and when I saw the first series,
Yeah.
like they've really made an effort to make it as correct as possible to the game. Do you know
Oh, is
what I
it?
mean? And
Like
stuff
really
that.
faithful?
Yeah. So like, in my opinion, anyway, people might like kick off and really argue against that. Just from my opinion, I think
looks really
it's
good.
really good the way they've done it.
What's the whole situation? Because I've not played the game and I've not watched the first season. What? So Henry Cavill's the main character.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to ask you what his name is because you probably won't be able to.
Geralt.
Geralt. I was going to say Grindelwald, but
It's
his
probably
name's
wrong.
Harry Potter.
I think it's Geralt.
Geralt. What is he? Because there's bits in the trailer where he just looks like a normal dude, really. A bit dead with yellow eyes, and the next moment he looks like a monster. He's like gone all like super dead looking. What is he? Is he a vampire? You've seen the series?
No.
You're just looking
And I
at me
can't-
like
Language.
completely
remember.
gormlessly.
I can't. I know he's on a quest. Oh my god! Honestly, my head is just not. I can't.
Andy, you were supposed to be the person who knew about
I know.
The
I
Witcher.
wish you'd have told me
'Cause I'm
beforehand
not
that we were
gonna
going to talk about this. I'd have quickly jumped back on and refreshed my memory because I'm shocking.
Anyway, it looks good.
But it looks good.
It looks really
And I
interesting.
love the bard that goes around with him. He is my favourite character.
I don't know who he is, but
He makes up songs about Geralt while they're walking around and
So it's
stuff
just
like
like
that.
you.
Yeah, basically. I've just fallen in love with myself in this series.
it looks good. The
But he's
effects-
also shit at fighting. This is the other thing that's really funny.
It was Geralt or
No, the bard. So
okay.
he kind of ends up in these situations
Yeah.
all the time, and it's just like as useful as a chocolate teapot. Like it's
Really?
just dead funny. I love
just
it.
Geralt just having to save him and stuff.
Yeah. It's kind of
Like me and you doing the podcast.
Yeah, right. People are going to tell me that this is a really shit explanation of what it is. It's kind of like, or the way I see it, and I'll probably put it in the most simple terms possible, a bit of a bounty hunter.
Yeah, that's
like
how I see it.
he does things for money and like helps.
Even the
people.
trailer looks a bit Mandalorian-y for this trailer for season 2.
Does it?
Yeah, it's like he's got this like girl he was going around with him, and he's kind of like training her a little bit.
He's got to protect the girl. Oh, you've just reminded me. He's got to protect that girl.
Is that in series 1 as well?
Yeah.
So it's basically Mandalorian and the child, but it's a zombie.
Well, now you've just upset me.
Kind of
because I just feel like I'm watching the same thing twice now.
Is there any point in me watching?
No,
The
not
Witch?
anymore. Yeah, no, there is.
Does Luke Skywalker pop up at the end of series 1 and take the little girl away?
Yeah.
Oh, gutted spoilers.
He meets a little robot somewhere as well. It rolls. He's got to protect this girl, and she gets kidnapped.
Yeah.
That's the whole idea of the first series.
Okay.
And so he's after her, but he's also doing quests in the meantime to either get information or get money.
Okay.
To keep him going.
It sounds good. Looks good.
I wish I could be
I'm
better.
going to watch it. I'm going to give it a go. The only thing I'd say about the trailer is, as good as it looks like there's quite a lot of practical effects in there, which look amazing.
Yeah.
And then there's some like big, clunky looking, not great CG in there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. A couple of shots in the trailer I thought didn't look great.
I've got a feeling. So the first series was actually quite small scale, apart from a dragon. Oh, and there you go.
Oh, that's why Auntie likes it. Can't remember anything else. You can remember the dragons.
That's how I remembered the quests, because he went to help the dragon with the egg. Anyway.
Really? It sounds like Harry Potter as well.
No, it's not like Harry Potter.
Not Harry Potter.
It's nothing like Harry Potter. Don't do that to me.
Sorry.
Anyway, he I don't know what I was saying anymore. Oh.
It's got a dragon. He's
got
on
a
a
dragon.
quest, and there's a bard.
Yeah.
What more do you need to know, listeners? If you've not seen it, we're going to have people harassing us on Twitter going, Anthony, this is not what The Witch is about. It's about something else.
You know
and
that,
he's not a vampire. He's a zombie.
those things on Facebook where it says, explain what you do as a job in the worst way possible?
Yeah.
That's what I've just done with this program.
Yeah, just a little bit. Let's move. Should we move on from
Yeah,
Witcher?
please.
Move on from Witcher.
I'm embarrassed.
So, something that you don't know about. Cobra Kai. So Cobra Kai season 4. We had a date announcement, and we got a teaser trailer as well. Anthony, you need to watch this. I would love to be able to cover this on the podcast. I know it's not superhero-y, but it's what people who watch superhero movies like, apart from you. So we got the trailer. So for everybody other than Anthony, we get Daniel and Johnny basically trying to work together, but they can't because they're struggling, because obviously there's a difference. And then we've got Kreese training with Terry Silver, who's back from Karate Kid 3. So it's bringing all the old characters back, Anthony, from the 80s. Anyway, we've got a date of December 31st. So coming quite soon.
New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve, yeah.
Okay.
So don't go out on New Year's Eve, people. Stay in and binge watch season 4 of Cobra Kai. Next one that was looked quite interesting, to be fair. Red Notice.
So I think I've seen something about Red Notice.
So this is The Rock, Ryan Reynolds, not in like the hero role, more of a bit of a goofy role,
right?
And Gal Gadot as the villain, which looks fantastic. No, the film doesn't necessarily look fantastic, but I really love the fact that we've got Gal Gadot playing a villain. Yeah, the clips, I think she'd do and the bits really in the trailer. Villain. She looks like she's going to pull it off really, really well. Does she? To be fair, yeah. I'm not sure about Ryan Reynolds being like the bumbling sidekick. Yeah, which is basically what he is to The Rock. But I mean, it's a good cast, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So there was a clip that got released, and there was a trailer. The trailer made it look pretty decent. The clip, not sure. Really? I said on Twitter, did you ever used to watch in like the 90s and early 2000s, like the MTV Movie Awards, and they do like a parody of a movie at the start? Oh, yeah. It was like that. Oh, was it? It really felt like you were watching the start of the MTV Movie Awards with like Jack Black. I was literally waiting for Jack Black to pop up in the background and make like a fart or poo joke or something like that. Seriously, that's what I was waiting for. But at the same time, it does look really fun. It looks like a bit of a laugh, which to be fair is most of the Rock's movies. That's not a dig. It is. Yeah. They're fun. They're not like really in depth. They're a bit of a laugh. They're a popcorn movie, aren't they? Yeah. And it looks like a popcorn movie. So that is out on November 12th. Which is a free week we've got on the podcast, so we'll cover it on the podcast. Yeah, we can do, yeah. Like a bit of a laugh, doesn't it? We got the Army of Thieves trailer, so we got the full trailer this time.
I need to watch that.
I can't wait for this one. So this is out again, not too far away, October 29th.
And it's all about my favourite
And
character,
it's
isn't
all
it?
about everybody's favourite character, Anthony, in Army of Thieves, Data. So he's back. It's very Ocean's 11-y, except there's only 5 of them. So it's Data's 5 instead of Ocean's 11. It's basically, apparently from the trailer, it's them trying to break into 3 safes. And in the background, the zombies are all happening. So this is while the zombie... No, I was going to say apocalypse, but it's not an apocalypse in this movie, is it? It's just a confined apocalypse in Las Vegas. A very small pandemic. A very bad pandemic, but it's all like on 2 streets in Las Vegas, basically. It's all like really, really confined. But it turns out the three safes belong to Tanaka. So the guy who hired them in Army of the Dead. Now, I don't know whether we already knew this from the teaser, but I can't remember knowing that. So I know it's obviously a tie-in to Army of the Dead, but I've got a feeling it's going to tie in more than we think. Rather than just being, everybody loved Data, let's give them a prequel.
Yeah.
I think it's going to have a big part. I wouldn't be surprised if at the end of it, we found out a lot more information about potentially these... Because it's like multiverse, isn't it?
Yeah.
Army of the Dead. But I'm really looking forward to that, and hopefully it does well so that we can get an Army of the Dead 2. Last but not least, maybe least, Umbrella Academy Season 3. I'm so looking forward to this.
I cannot wait.
But we didn't really get much, if anything.
Oh, really?
We got, rather than a trailer or a sneak peek, we got 20 things you didn't know about Umbrella Academy. And it's basically just the cast getting asked questions like, what's your favourite song? Are you a morning person? And it's like, I love the show. I love the cast. I don't care. I just want a trailer or a teaser or to
Did
find
they ask the
something
monkey
else.
anything?
No, because he's not real. There's no dragons in it either.
But,
one of the questions was old Pogo or young Pogo.
But they get them to ride horses in Planet of the Apes.
They do, but it's not real. That's why Anthony wants to be a performer. I can't wait for Umbrella Academy, but I was a bit disappointed with this. But it's got me thinking. See, do you know what? Actually, I was about to say, if they're not giving us a teaser or a trailer, it must be ages away. But then when you think about it, all the trailers that they did give us, which a lot of them were first looks, are all coming really, really soon.
Yeah.
So like Army of Thieves, first full trailer, and it's out in 4 weeks.
Is that how close it is?
Yeah, that's the thing about Netflix, isn't it? So maybe it is going to come quite soon. Fingers crossed, anyway. That's us for the news, though. Should we do what we came to talk about? Should we talk about the best episode of What If? Should we do it? Let's do it.
Go with that. Yeah.
Let's do it. Right, What If Episode 8, What If Ultron Won? Spoilers, obviously, straight
Ultron
away.
Won.
We're going to go in here. What? Ultron Won, that's the spoiler. I missed that. This is the one we've been waiting for, haven't we?
It is.
For 8 weeks.
Yeah.
This is... It's been very inconsistent, this series, I think. Some good episodes, some not good episodes. This feels like the payoff. This is what we've been waiting for. This is your treat for sitting and putting up with some not particularly great episodes so far. But yeah, they've finally done it, and they've tied up the stories. Kinda?
Or they're starting to.
They're starting to. So before we break it down in detail, you liked it.
Loved it.
You liked it. I liked it. It was...
Do you know what moment that I thought, holy shit, this is going to be good?
Which one?
The moment that Thanos walked out of his
Did
space
ya?
cloud.
The space cloud.
And got sliced in half. And I was like,
Spoilers.
Get in.
Yeah.
This is going to be awesome.
It's
Because I
gonna be
did
like
think to myself,
craziness, innit?
how did he end up with the stones? Because we obviously saw him at the end of the last episode. And I was like, how the hell did he end up with all the other stones then?
Yeah.
Nice and simple.
Thanos
appeared
Thanos,
to get it,
Thanos.
and he just went, interesting.
I think we'd made a joke about he's just going to rob him off Thanos, but I didn't think it would be actually that. But then you've got a lot of story to tell in 28 minutes. You're just going to make it whatever works, really. I did really enjoy it, but I don't think it was perfect. I think there were, just because there were a couple of potential plot holes, but I think if you watch it and you don't take it too seriously, it's just fantastic.
Yeah.
We'll come on, because I've got a couple of questions. You had questions last week, but you had questions. I've got questions. I've got questions this week.
I've got questions too, to be fair.
Have you?
Yeah.
Good. Well, we can do that. So, story-wise, I really liked it, and I feel like we've finally got...
The Ultron we were supposed to.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly
We
what I was
finally
going to
got
say.
the Ultron we were supposed to
what I
get in
was
the
gonna
first
say.
place.
We did, didn't we? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say he was like mistreated. That sounds really dramatic, but he was as a character. They took a great character in Age of Ultron, or in Ultron,
Yeah.
and just made him a bit of a pants villain.
Yeah.
And didn't really give us more of him when they could have.
Yeah.
He had the ability, which you can see now, to be like a big overarching phase villain.
Yeah.
And they killed him in like 2 minutes in a little battle
And
at
you
the
know
end.
what? Like, with so many villains in long series, you've got, oh, but they died in that series. Oh, well, here's how they came back.
Yeah.
Whereas with Ultron, it was literally like, he's the internet. Like,
I know.
the
It's
internet
easiest
doesn't
way.
die. Like, he can come back at any time.
I know. Well, they did explain that in Age of Ultron. They cut him off from the internet, didn't they?
Yeah, no, I get
But
that.
it's
But that's
an
what I
easy
mean.
out,
Like,
isn't
it's just so good that can be a thing.
Yeah.
Because it means that it's a villain that will never go away. Do you
There
know
could
what I
just
mean?
be a floppy disk with Ultron sitting on
Yeah.
it somewhere in an office. Literally. It could be.
Floppy disk. We've got some people who probably listen to this that don't know what a floppy disk is.
Kids, Google it. Ask your dad. Ask your granddad what a floppy disk is. But yeah, it is true. But we've never brought him back, and I wonder whether the fact that James Spader doesn't want to do it again might have something to do with the fact why we've not brought him back, or maybe people have just got a really bad taste in the mouth from Age of Ultron because it's not a loved film, is it? Age of Ultron.
No.
But I'm glad we've brought him back for this.
I'm glad we've seen more potential from him.
Yeah, because as I said, he just had. I mean, even in this, I mean, in Age of Ultron, he wasn't really that scary, was
Yeah.
he? And
No.
I don't know whether the fact that James Spader did the voice maybe didn't help towards that, but he just wasn't like a big scary big bad. But in this, even before he gets the Infinity
No,
Stones,
do you know what?
he's quite scary.
I think James Spader made him more intimidating than scary, if that makes sense.
But then they
Pulls me
wiped him
down.
out in like, I mean,
No,
it was,
I know,
it
and
was
that's
only,
what I
it was
mean,
only
like-
the only reason, and I know I suppose it's part of Ultron and it's a more modernized version of him potentially, but the only reason he was scary to a degree, or he was a bit of a challenge to the Avengers in Age of Ultron, was because he had all the Ultron bots.
Yeah.
When he went one-on-one, or maybe not one-on-one, but it was Thor, Tony, and Vision, and they just like melted him in like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
It's just not, and that was his ultimate form. That was Vibranium Ultron,
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And he wiped him out very, very quickly, and then just tore through his Ultron bots. Whereas in this, I know obviously it was in his Vision form, but he tore through the four most powerful Avengers. I mean, how did he beat Hulk and Thor? And that was that was before he got his hands on the Infinity Stones. And then, like you said, Thanos rolls up and he's killed him in like half a second.
Yeah.
But then that did make me question it's a lot more powerful than we've ever seen Vision.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I mean, Vision, to be fair, from Infinity War onwards has been a bit of a waste of space, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He was just being looked after by Wanda.
Yeah, yeah.
And he wasn't really, even when he was...
But then, is that the same trick that they were doing with Captain Marvel?
He was trying to hold it back.
Yeah.
Yeah, potentially, yeah. Because
Trying to hold it back or putting Vision in a position within the storyline that he can't use his full potential.
Which was because he got hit by the...
Yeah.
He got stabbed by
And
the
because they
blade.
were trying to take the stone out of his head.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. But yeah, so when he cut Thanos in half, yeah, I was a bit like... I don't know whether I found it funny or...
I just went, whoa.
I think it was kind of the same reaction that you had, to be fair. But again, it just made me question how he was so powerful.
Yeah.
I had a couple of other questions as well about Thanos, and I sound like I'm being nitpicky here.
Yeah.
How did Thanos have all the stones? So where did he get the time stone from? Do you know what I mean?
Don't know.
Because that would have been with Strange. And how did he get the soul stone? Because he hasn't killed Gamora. Because when Ultron Vision is like wiping out all the different planets,
You see him wipe out Gamora with Star-Lord.
Gamora's there, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So again, I'm probably just thinking too far into it, but it took me out of it a little bit, and I know I'm being nitpicky, but it did. Before we sort of move on with the story, should we talk about his voice? So we've already mentioned James Spader. James Spader didn't come back for this.
No.
It wasn't James Spader.
No.
Do you know who it was?
No?
It was Ross Marquand,
Who's that?
who did Aaron from Walking Dead, who does the voice of Red Skull now. Instead of Hugo Weaving.
yeah.
So they brought him back. Now, I really like Ross Marquand. I've seen videos of him on YouTube doing like impressions. He's really, really good, which is why he's getting all this voice work. And he's good in Walking Dead as well. I didn't really rate him as Ultron. in this. No, I don't think James Spader was intimidating enough as Ultron, and I think Ross Marquand made him a little bit more human, rather than a bit more big bad robot-y. He just sounded like a dude, and whether that's because he was in Vision form compared to like Ultron form, but he just didn't sound as intimidating as he could have been.
Can we also address how awkward it was seeing him in a Vision form?
What Vision with not Paul Bettany's voice?
Yeah, that and Vision being bad. Like, I know we kind of already saw it with the zombie episode.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, very different way of being bad.
But it was he was kind of doing it for the one he loved, so you saw it in a way.
Like a reluctant bad guy, wasn't he?
Yeah. But
whereas in this, it was just full on.
This was just evil.
Glowing red eyes.
It wasn't our Vision.
No, it wasn't.
Not my Vision.
Not my Vision, no. Which, as I said, it's going to be very interesting if he ends up bumping into Wanda in I was going to say Ministry of Mayhem again, in Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
So let's go through the story then. So we've already touched on bits of it. Obviously, he wipes out the Avengers. He kills Ultron.
I must admit,
Thanos in 2 seconds.
I loved the fact that they showed him on each of the different planets and stuff that we visited in the past.
Good. Yeah,
I was like, brilliant.
And
even going to Ego.
I know, yeah.
I was quite shocked
at that. He just
one.
wiped these things out.
I know.
Like Asgard. It was like 2 seconds. It was gone. So he did Asgard, the Sovereign. I thought it was a bit weird throwing the Sovereign in there.
I thought it was a bit weird, but I think it was just it's everybody.
Everywhere we've seen sort of thing.
Well, I think it was just a hint that it's everybody, not just our beloved characters. It's everybody. Do you know what I mean?
I get you. Yeah. So we got that. We got Sakaar, poor Grandmaster. We saw him looking really devastated that his party was over.
Yeah.
Ego, and then Xandar as well. Yeah. Which was where we saw him fighting the Guardians, who had obviously formed at this stage still, because that was going on at the same time as Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
It was set at the same time, wasn't it? And then almost saving Xandar was Captain Marvel, who I wasn't surprised to see because I saw Alexandra Daniels in the credits, so we knew Captain Marvel was going to be in it. But I was dead impressed to see her, and it was a massive.
She put up a good fight, to be fair.
Such a contrast to last episode, where it was like she was really trying to hold back, and this one it was like, right, you're going to wipe the planet out anyway.
She took him to the core of the planet.
I think I knew deep down that she wasn't going to win.
Yeah,
but I was a bit like, she's got this. She's gonna kill him, or something's gonna have to happen for him to come back, or maybe he'll be like an Ultron bot, and that's how he'll survive this. But I really, really thought she was gonna have him then. Yeah, I love the fact that she called him Skynet as well. Yeah, I thought that was really, that was really clever. Proper like 90s. She's from the 90s still, isn't she? I really enjoyed that fight. And again, there was the next fight was Watcher.
Yeah.
This was the crux of the episode now, wasn't it? Basically, this was the
we
main
got
story.
the hint of it at the beginning, didn't we? Because he said he could hear the voice.
Oh, you mean when he first realised?
Sorry, Before
was like, I felt that really eerie.
I found that really eerie.
When he sort of like turned around and it was like,
and he's like
felt
kind of looking behind him, but not looking at the Watcher, and he's going, but someone else is here. And I was like, oh.
It was like a sink in your stomach sort of thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was good.
Because imagine you've spent your entire existence only watching from essentially a glass pane at the world moving around you, and then somebody acknowledges your existence out of the blue all of a sudden.
But Strange had already interacted with him in that stage, though, hadn't he?
Yes.
So he didn't know it was happening. He didn't know it could happen.
Yeah, but I think it was the unexpected factor of it.
Rather than, I feel like with Strange, it was because he knew he was getting quite close to it and watching, whereas I don't think it was very transparent. And sort of just space watchers. Does that make sense? Really far away, and he still picked up on him. But I found that really eerie. But then I was also wondering when he said, I think Ultron said something along the lines of like, who's there or someone's there. Yeah. And then the Watcher just carried on like narrating. And I was thinking, does he not know he's talking about him? Because there must be somebody else popping up. It's like looking over his shoulder.
He stands there, puzzled.
Like narrating his own voice. I got hungry. The Watcher got hungry, so he went to the fridge to make a sandwich. It's like, you just stop narrating now. You're in it now. Stop narrating your own little story. But when he then broke through, so this is when we got like the full-on battle between the two of them. This was what I know. I said the episode's what we've been waiting for. This was what we've been waiting for. Yeah. Powerful
we've all thought that the Watcher at some point was gonna make the decision to get involved. whereas he's been dragged into this.
He has really.
And I quite like that because that was a twist. Because that's not what I was expecting from it at all.
No.
I've been thinking that something is going to go that horribly wrong that he goes, at this point, I can't just keep watching. I need to fix something.
Yeah, rather than it being
forced. Yeah.
So kind of like that way, didn't it?
Yeah.
But then I don't think it's been perfect with the continuity, and I probably wasn't going to cover this at this stage, but if you look back at the end of last episode, and he's watching Thor on Earth, and then Ultron and the Ultron bots come out the portal, and he's really surprised that they're there, and then we go straight into this episode, and it's completely different the way he's first seen Ultron. So what happened to that ending?
Oh, yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
I think that proves that Thor episode should have been earlier on in the series.
Yeah.
Because it should have been here mid-season, like we said. Here's your taster of the big bad. We'll leave it. And then by the time another 3 or 4 episodes have gone past, it's not as glaringly obvious that that's not the introduction. Yeah. Do you get what I mean? Whereas because they've ended up moving the episode back to the very previous episode, it's like, hang on, that's not what happened. Yeah. Because when he started talking about the episode at the start, the Watcher, I thought we're going to get an explanation as to what's happened, and then we're going to pick up from the end of that Thor episode, and it didn't. It just had a whole different introduction to him. Yeah. That was a bit weird the way that they've chose to do that, but I think it makes sense with how they probably planned out the episode. Let's talk about the Watcher versus Ultron. As I said, it was the big crux of the episode, wasn't it?
What a fight.
How I didn't expect the Watcher to be powerful in that way.
No, I didn't.
I kind of expected him to be, I need to get these heroes from the multiverse to protect me in the multiverse. Yeah. Whereas he was just like, nah, don't come near me, I'm going to have you, basically. Yeah. It was just like, and even before he suited up, which we'll talk about in a second, he was proper holding his own against Ultron. And I can't remember what it was that made him go super powered. I think didn't he slam him into the floor and he said, "My will is more powerful. No one can." I think Ultron said something along the lines of like, "No one can defeat my will."
I think so, yeah.
And then the Watcher said, "Oh, you will find that my will is more powerful," or something like that. And then he just went like full on like super suit. And I was just looking at it thinking, Ultron, your language now. He's gonna have you now. And he proper did. He just like completely went to town on him. Yeah. I was just dead impressed with like how powerful he was. I know. But again, it's like, this is, and I was supposed to cut into the end a little bit, but we'll go into the end in a bit more detail when we get there. Look how powerful the Watcher is. Yeah. And how powerful Ultron is. And how powerful I suppose Captain Marvel is, and Captain Marvel couldn't beat Ultron. And now the Watcher's having to go to Doctor Strange for help. So it's basically Captain
Strange Supreme.
Yeah, I know it's Strange Supreme, so I know he's more powerful than your average Doctor Strange. Your average Doctor Strange that you see him like every day on the streets. Oh, there's another Doctor Strange walking past. But, and I'm going around the houses here, but that would suggest that Doctor Strange Supreme is probably more powerful or just as powerful as Ultron, Super Ultron, and the Watcher. And normal Doctor Strange did hold his own against Strange Supreme. It wasn't just like Strange Supreme just wiped him out in 2 seconds. He proper... although I suppose he didn't have the 2 Doctor Stranges in him, did he? No. At that stage. Yeah, I suppose we're going to say. But either way you look at it, it's really separating out the heroes again, this. Yeah. I mean, look at the power levels of Captain Marvel and Doctor Strange now, and the Watcher. Yeah. And then I keep going back to Sam and Bucky. Yeah. Like, how are they going to play ball in the same sort of ballpark as these guys?
The only way that I can see it is it's going to be the same storyline of they're going to be the ones fighting the bots.
Oh yeah, but that's sad.
I know it's sad, but that's the harsh reality of it, isn't it? They're going to be holding off the things that are going to pull focus on the powerful ones so that the powerful ones can go for the powerful one. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you mean. I don't want it to be that because I really like
but how can you not have it be like that?
The thing is though, there's nobody else. I mean, even Bucky's got a super soldier serum. He's got his metal arm, and Sam is, in my opinion, supposed to now be the leader of the Avengers, and he's a great character, and he's obviously really skilled in what he's doing because he's fighting super soldiers in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But Captain America is supposed to be. Not the strongest, obviously, but he should be able to hold his own. But he's not. He's just not going to be able to. I know we digress massively, but they need to figure something out. They're going to have to give him super soldier serum.
Yeah, but then what about like Spider-Man and stuff? Because he's
a super soldier, isn't he? I know he's not got the serum or anything like that, but he's super soldier strength.
okay.
He's strong. I mean, look, when Bucky tried to punch him, and this was like completely untrained Peter, and he just grabbed his arm and was like, "Whoa, you've got a metal arm!"
Yeah,
it's like he's more powerful than Bucky. He's stronger than Bucky, and that was 15-year-old Spidey. He's years older now, more trained, better suit.
Yeah.
Because he's basically Iron Boy, which he is. But it just really separates those heroes, particularly Sam. Anyway, back to the fight. So again, the way that they like choreograph the fight, similar to the other fights that we talked about, I really love this. So when Ultron was just knocking him through different realities, like every time he punched him, he knocked him into a different reality. So we saw, I think there was a Wakanda, there was like a medieval times.
Yeah.
There was not the restaurants at the time. There was President Steve Rogers.
Yeah.
As
soon as I saw that in the background, I was like, shut
Steve
up.
Rogers.
Amazing.
That was good. I want to see more of that. One of them, I can't remember who it was now. I think it was New Rockstars on Twitter, showed that one of the places he went, in the background you could see Darth Vader's castle.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And then another place that he landed in was like some very similar to some concept art for another Star Wars planet.
No way.
So yeah, but is it canon
Brilliant.
now? Canon in the MCU? I suppose it could be because it's kind of multiverse, isn't it?
Yeah.
And one of the best bits of that fight, as well as the knocking him through realities and seeing President Steve Rogers, was when Ultron. I don't know what he was doing. He knocked him. He hit the Watcher somewhere, and then he like went giant. And just like his head like bit down on like a whole galaxy. Yeah. That was amazing.
It was.
Completely weird, but it was just like, look at the level of power this dude's got now.
Yeah.
Because I suppose he can bend reality, can't he? But I really, really enjoyed that. Just that one little shot. I thought that was really, really good. Yeah. But again, he still struggled to fight the Watcher. So before we sort of go to the end of the episode and talk a bit more about Strange and what's coming, I think it's quite easy to forget there was another story going on for this entire episode. As well as Ultron and the Watcher, there was Natasha and Clint. Yeah. Which is quite easy to forget when you're thinking about like, how big these...
I'd completely forgotten about it.
This was just a completely separate story going on in the background. Now, I liked that and I thought it was really clever because they didn't need to put that story in. It could have just been a bigger, longer battle because there must have only been like 5.
Did you notice the Soul Stone scene?
Where?
Essentially, I don't mean it. The actual Soul Stone scene.
Yeah. When he sacrificed himself.
Yeah.
That whole thing. I didn't even think about that.
They ended up getting in that same situation all over again, and this time it was Clint that died.
I didn't even cross my mind that.
Didn't it?
No, not at all.
I very much felt it, especially when she grabbed his hand to stop him from falling.
Didn't you?
And then he made her let go, and I was like,
that reaction then. No, I didn't even talk onto that. But I thought it was. I like that though. I like the comparisons. I suppose it's been full of them, hasn't it? The whole series. I like the fact though that it brought it really back down to earth, literally. Yeah. Because we've got these two gods fighting each other. Yeah. And I'm not gonna say. I was gonna say like, it's more relatable. It's not, because it's like a post-apocalyptic world with robots. But do you know what I mean? It brought it took it from being these two big gods just battling to much more realistic, if that's the right way to say it, by bringing it down and having the only two surviving Avengers being the two completely unenhanced Avengers, and they were the ones who
I love that about it. But I love that they picked the two that were the least enhanced.
It was, but it was a much more human way of approaching it. It's like you can't just sit there and conjure up a super suit like the Watcher and just start
you
like,
actually got to work bloody hard.
It's like we are just people and we've got to sort of get on with it. And it's the fact that the Watcher, before he got into the fight with Ultron, was as powerful as he is. And I suppose I hadn't even thought of this, but it's very sort of poignant in what we've just been saying about like Sam not being powerful enough to sort of cope. As powerful as the Watcher is, and as powerful as Captain Marvel is, and even Doctor Strange, even the Watcher says, this is our last hope. Yeah. Nat and Clint are our last hope against Ultron. So there's this god-level being who can bite down on a galaxy and destroy it. I'm not our last hope against it.
It's all just reminds me, it's all just flooded back to me as well. And I loved the, what was the name? Zora?
Zola. Arnim Zola.
Was
Toby
Jones
back
as soon
again
as
from...
her head that it was Toby Jones, and I was like, they didn't just get him for that one line at the very first episode.
Did they? Yeah, he had more to do in the voiceover booth. Yeah, he did. I love the fact that they brought him back. Yeah. The banter between him and Clint and that.
Hilarious.
I love that. Clint with his metal arm, with his robot arm.
Yeah.
That was weird.
I'm kind of loving that we haven't had an explanation there yet either.
Don't think we needed it though, did we?
No, but I just think it's brilliant.
I think this story is gonna... Obviously, it's going to carry into the next episode, but I think that this is going to be like the big crux of how they end up being.
Do you know, when I realised as well that it wasn't his arm, part of me was like, post-apocalyptic, what if it's Bucky's arm? What if he's lost his arm and he's used Bucky's?
The other arm.
No, I realised that afterwards, but like, at first when it sort of got
blown off, I was just
like scoping it and just checking to see if it was the same one, to be like...
He's got two left arms, one of them's behind him. The elbow bends the wrong way. But I did think though, poor Clint, because like no matter what reality he's in, he's still lost. I don't know why I'm laughing. He's like lost his family again.
I know.
But he's taken a completely different turn on it. And we look at the comparisons between Endgame and what you're looking at. In Endgame, he went complete psycho killer, just wiping everybody out. And in this one, he's basically lost his family again, but he's completely kept his head. Yeah. Mad, innit? Yeah, and it felt really sorry for him. But even when he said like his will to live meter was running empty, it was just like, what? Why is he still fighting for it though? Because are they the only two humans left?
Well, that's kind of how it looked, didn't it?
Do you not think a bit like, what's the point?
Yeah.
If you're literally the only two left, because they probably only escaped the nukes because they were up in the air.
Yeah.
And I suppose you could have loads of randoms on planes and stuff who'd escape the nukes as well, but the Ultron bots are just going to wipe them out in 2 seconds.
I know.
So it's probably reasonable to say that they're the only two human beings left.
Yeah.
You know, just be like...
Language!
Yeah. Literally.
He's wiped everybody out. What's the point? You're kind of just as bad as him at that stage, aren't you? He's wiped everybody out for no reason, just so he can sit there on his own. And they're just going to wipe out Ultron and just sit there on their own.
Yeah.
That's it, innit?
Yeah. It's a bit shit, innit?
It's a bit. So have I just completely soured the story of
well
what's
done.
the point? You should have just let Ultron
I'm really
win.
disappointed.
You should have just let Ultron win. Voices then for Nat and Clint. So we got Jeremy Renner back as Hawkeye. We didn't get ScarJo back, which we know and we understand why we didn't get ScarJo back. But we got Lake Bell, who did the voice in the Hank Pym episode. I think she was good in the Avengers All Getting Murdered episode, but she was really good in this. There were moments in this where she really did sound like ScarJo.
Yeah.
I thought. Before we move on from her as well, I really like the fact that she's got a shield.
Yes.
Was it Red Guardian's shield? Or was it just a shield? Like a prototype Red Guardian shield?
Well, I kept trying to look at it, but it was moving too fast for me to work out what shield it was.
It looked a bit like
I
Red
thought
Guardians.
It was Caps.
No, it wasn't. No, it was like red.
That just shows you how little I saw of the shield.
It was definitely like a Soviet-y type one, but
was it?
It was good. She kicked ass.
Yeah,
absolutely kicked ass with the shield. Right, talk about the ending then. So it's got to be set. It's got to. Well, I think we know. I was going to say. I'm going to try and tease it. It's got to be setting up the big link-up episode, but we know it is.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange, or Doctor Strange Supreme. He's obviously had the fact in his little bubble. The fact he's had to ask for help. I don't really feel like Doctor Strange Supreme's a bad guy anymore.
I don't think he ever...
but
I don't think he ever was a bad guy. I think it's that thing. Clint wasn't a bad guy. He just turned into this vigilante because the things he loved were just ripped away from him. And it's the same thing that happened to Strange. It's just that in order to get her back, he was willing to do anything, and that just not turned him, but there was a means to an end. Do you know what I mean? And it was that kind of thing. It's no matter how horrible these things are, I'm going to get the woman that I love back.
Yeah. But even that little brief conversation he had with him, it was just like normal Doctor Strange.
But don't forget what happened at the end of...
He realised that he'd done completely wrong. Yeah, I suppose. And he now had complete control over all these other beings.
And we don't know how long he's been sat there on his own thinking about what he's done.
Yeah, I suppose.
He could have been there for 17 years before... I don't know why 17 came into me.
I don't know why.
But he could have been sat there for 17 years in that little bubble with only his thoughts, which sounds like the
I get the impression that time-wise it all moves around the same. It all moves the same. I don't get the impression that the Watcher can jump around between different times. I think he just sits there and watches.
How many episodes have been between that?
Well, I suppose it'd be how long was between the end of Doctor Strange and Age of Ultron. Age of Ultron was first.
Exactly.
Wasn't it? Yeah, so maybe
I don't know.
Must just be able to jump through time. It's got me thinking though that because I think one of the theories that I had and a lot of people had for Spider-Man No Way Home and potentially Doctor Strange 2 was going to be that we were going to end up with Doctor Strange Supreme as a villain, a sub-villain, a big villain maybe. I'm not buying that now. I don't think he would. I don't think he would. No. I'm not saying he's not going to be in it, but I just don't see him as being the villain. And I get the impression in the next episode of this, he's going to be like he's going to be the leader of this new Avengers.
Yeah.
And he's going to be fully on the side of like trying to fight Ultron.
Yeah.
Whether he's got like his own little agenda in the background, like a bit Loki-esque, opportunistic, but
Yeah.
I feel like he's going to be full on good now.
Yeah.
What are your predictions for the finale then, Anthony?
Well, and this is where my questions come into it. I'm sure we had a trailer for another episode that we've not seen yet.
What?
Didn't we have one where we saw Gamora?
Well, yeah, but we've seen Gamora in clips
But
from...
wasn't she fighting the Dark Elves or something? Wasn't she left on a... Wasn't it that someone was left on a planet? Or it was...
Well, there were rumours that there was another episode, and we've seen toys for this. There were two rumours. I think we've seen the toys where Tony's stuck on Sakaar, which obviously we just haven't happened, or we haven't seen. And then there was also rumours that there was going to be an episode where Gamora was out to kill Tony.
Yeah.
Which could have been the same episode,
Yeah.
to be fair, but we've not got that. Now, we know it was cut short the season by one episode.
So could that have been the episode?
Yeah, but
Or it might just get moved into season 2.
More than likely. But then Gamora, we know, is going to be in this finale.
Yeah.
So it'll be a bit weird if we've not seen her intro episode and we just get dragged in. But I suppose it could go in any order it wants to, couldn't it, really? But yeah, it is a bit weird that we're not going to get her in there.
That's been the thing that I've been questioning, you see, because I was like, hang on, if this is now going to have everyone come together, where's
Gamora come into it? unless she survived somehow Xandar and she's coming back just to get revenge.
I've also got a what if.
Go on. Do you want to do it now?
I just want to get out there now while it's fresh in my head.
Go on.
What if Tony never fell back through the hole in the first Avengers?
Well, that's what the Sakaar episode was going to be.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I think so. I think that was my understanding of the Sakaar
where it was going,
episode.
Sakaar?
No, it wasn't going to Sakaar. My understanding of that episode where he got stuck on Sakaar and had to, what the Lego set is, was that he went through that hole. He went through the wormhole in Avengers and then didn't come back. Oh, that's what I think that was supposed to be. But yeah, it's a good question because they've written a whole episode about it by the sounds of it.
Clearly, it was good enough to get in there.
We're never gonna get it potentially, but I think it's just gonna have to be the next episode is gonna be. It's just gonna be them all. Doctor Strange jumping between all these realities, getting all these different heroes, and basically fighting against Ultron and his army. I don't know how the zombies are gonna fall into it though, because they're in it.
Are they?
Yeah, because there's one of the clip. I think the clip from the trailer's got
unless
Thor
they use
Strange.
The Horde to fight
the Ultron bots.
Yeah,
maybe because they're all like clever, aren't they?
Yeah,
they all know what they're doing.
Yeah,
could get giant Hope fighting Ultron bots and kicking out Ultron bots, but then she just want to be everybody.
And Party Loki, Dark Elf Party Loki.
No, not Dark Elf. Frost Giants.
Friggin' hell, Anthony. No, I'm so sorry.
I hope we get them all back. I also think though that it has to link into maybe not No Way Home, but I'm really, really hoping it links into Multiverse of Madness.
I'd love
to see them all in Multiverse of Madness.
Do you know what I'd love to see?
What?
I'd love to see Strange Supreme just start to open one of the rings.
Yeah.
And through that ring you see live action.
Yes.
Nothing in particular, but you just see live action
just
in it. And then it just ends there. So they talk something about the multiverse in general and say it's shattering everywhere. We need to put our heads together.
Yeah.
And then he just opens one and then you just see one of the actors or something like that,
even just in the background of the fight, that there's just something there.
It'd just be
when
really
he's
cool.
When he's pulling everybody in from different multiverses.
Yeah,
that'd be good. We've got to get him in live. I mean, there's been rumours, obviously there's rumours that we're going to get Haley Atwell as live action Captain Carter. There's rumours that we're going to get Doctor Strange Supreme as well. I'd love to see the whole thing though. I'd love to just see them all just sort of like bundle through one of these like circle things, it just like land on the floor in front of Doctor Strange in the Sanctum or something like that. That'd be brilliant. But I said last week, I really want to see live action Ultron.
Do you know what? It'd just be like, even just as a nod to it, just you see two open in front of Doctor Strange or something, and they literally all just run through.
Like Scooby-Doo.
Like, yeah. Like,
that'd be amazing.
And they're like, sorry, we're intruding, and then just carry on and just leg it.
Live action. Do you want live action or like Space Jam, like animated?
I don't know.
Either of them will do.
I think I'd be open to either or.
I think I would. I just want to see live action. I think it'd be quite interesting just to see a bunch of animated
I don't think I could do like 2.5 hours of it all overlapping and stuff.
No.
However, if it was just like a quick, at maximum 2.5 minutes, like.
Well, I think that's pushing it.
Just
you need, like,
just
5
that
seconds
little,
of them running across
just
the
that
screen.
little bit. I just think it'd be dead funny.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I want to see that. I really want to see that. Should we see what the listeners thought?
Yeah.
Let's do Pod Fans Assemble.
Pod Fans Assemble.
So, we did forget to do the poll straight away, didn't we, on
We
this
did.
one?
Yeah, this morning.
So, oops, we forgot to do a poll. What did you think? So, 81% loved it.
Yeah,
Which
I
has
can
been the
see that.
highest so far.
That is the highest. But
We then also had the highest percentage for hated it.
what?
We had 12%.
What are you all thinking? It was brilliant.
I know. And then we had 7% say it was okay.
I can't. I mean, we'll listen to the thoughts on it, stuff like that. I can't even wrap my head around the not good things. I think they're a bit. I think I could nitpick at a few bits.
Yeah.
But if you it was quick. Didn't have pacing issues.
No, not at all.
I think if you just enjoyed it for what it is, it was really, really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's see what everybody thought.
So Nathan said, to those who voted hated it, did you even watch the episode? And then he's got a sassy girl holding a cup of tea.
Amazing.
And I love it. David Corey Jones said, episode was great, but on another note, theatres finally opened in my hometown. I finally got to watch Shang-Chi. Loved it. Probably rate it 8.5 to 9 out of 10.
Amazing.
Amazing.
God, can you imagine? God, I hope you haven't listened. I hope you haven't listened to the podcast, but I hope you haven't because we've proper spoiled it for you.
Properly spoiled it. Yeah, sorry,
Definitely
David.
today.
Then Stephanie Tittle said, I didn't get a chance to answer, but it was okay. As far as the what if story goes, I give it a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
I mean, it's not quite love it, but it's better than okay, because okay is a solid 5.
Yeah.
And you
it's
put
not
a 7
hate.
down,
It's not in the
Steph,
hated
so-
category, is it?
No. Then Erican just said, was pretty good this week. Unofficial Trey said, cautiously optimistic. I totally read that wrong. I thought there was something about scrumptious in there then. And that's just because I'm so tired. And I was like,
Totally scrumptious episode.
what a weird way to describe that. Well done,
It
you.
would have been, yeah.
So anyway, cautiously optimistic.
That's going in my written review. This week's episode was totally scrumptious.
Oh, God.
Sorry, Trey. Go on.
Sorry, Trey. The show hasn't built a lot of confidence in paying off storylines, but feels like that's changing with this latest one, which is exactly what you said before.
Oh, it's got to be. Can you imagine if next week's was the Gamora episode?
I
And
think I'd see my
and it
ass.
ended on a cliffhanger, and it was like season 2 for see what happens with the Watcher and Ultron. Oh, why did I say that? I've just put it out into the universe that's going to happen.
Don't do it.
Oh God, please no.
Sam Adams said, best episode of the series so far, in my opinion.
I would agree.
Clifford Fort said, I called shenanigans too many times for me to enjoy this episode.
I get it. It's like I said, I think you just had to sort of sit and enjoy it for what it was. But if you did stop and think about things too much, it didn't make sense.
Uatu? Am I saying that right?
Uatu, yeah, the Watcher.
The Uatu fight was fun, but my brain would go right back to asking what the rules for the MCU are.
Yeah.
Wes Saga said, exhilarating episode. The display of powers was awesome. Fun jaw droppers. All right, I'm back in. Lol.
I'm back in, yeah.
Love
Good.
it.
I think a lot of people will be the same. A lot of people who have been sat there thinking, oh, where's this going? Will now be like, yeah, I'm on board with it.
I mean, these names are just getting worse and worse. Like, I can't...
Go on, have a go.
KPMNR. KPMMNR.
Amazing.
I mean, said just
Amazing.
wow.
Just wow.
Yeah. Mike Kignacio. Thanos downplayed. Lots of surprises. Plus, we have the first multiverse battle in MCU. And hopefully they're saving the best for last.
Oh, I just thought of something.
What?
Thank you for that. What if? See, I got that in there. What if this is the multiverse war that they talked about in Loki?
I don't even know how to respond to that.
What if this is the multiverse war?
then I don't feel like there's been a good enough build up to it.
No, like in Loki, they said that they had to create the TVA.
Yeah.
Because there was a massive multiversal war.
Oh, you mean what if this was the original
What if this
one?
was the multiversal war?
But he said that it was the Kangs all fighting each other
Yeah.
in the original multiversal war, which led him to them.
It was. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. That would have been good, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Imagine if they got to the end of this and then we saw somebody create the TVA because of this.
That'd be cool.
It wouldn't surprise me because it's not been perfect for continuity so far this season.
No.
So wouldn't surprise me. Sorry, that's my ridiculous theory done.
Well done, you. Utterly random guy, funnily enough, says, this is definitely one of the best episodes for me. Definitely on the top 3. They definitely went all out going dark and depressing, kind of like they followed the comic mixed with Infinity War. P.S. I laughed hysterically when Ultron killed Thanos as he makes that surprised face.
He did, yeah, he did. No one can see the face, but it looked like Thanos.
Geeky8 said, damn, it was good. We watched Party Thor, then hopped straight into it. And yeah, I understand why the swap. Can't wait to see the team we get.
Yeah, I can't wait to see them all join together.
The King. This episode proved 3 things.
Okay, go on.
1. Iron Man is dead in all universes.
He is, yeah. We didn't talk about that.
He will always die in all universes.
He will.
2. Nat and Clint will always be separated.
Yeah. Okay, I get that.
And then...
Because he get pulled apart because he jumps into the... basically the sacrifice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
And then 3.
I had to think, but I get it.
Like, who will narrate next week's episode?
Who what?
Who will narrate next week's episode?
That is an excellent point.
That is an excellent
Loki,
point.
just get Tom Hiddleston in. That's fine, that'll do. Or Strange. Cumberbatch.
Or Nat.
Or Jason Momoa.
Or half of Thanos.
Don't know half of Thanos. I thought I was getting random with Jason
I had
Momoa.
a terrible year. I don't know what's happening.
Both halves having a conversation with each other.
Galileo.
I want to see it.
Josie Delgado said, felt like a filler, but definitely not the worst. Toss up between Captain Carter or this as to which one is better. I feel like this is the meaty part of the story rather than a filler.
I don't get how it was filler. I don't think a lot of people... I mean, everyone is completely entitled to their own opinions, but I think a lot of...
But you're wrong.
A lot of people on Twitter didn't like that. Poor dude got harassed on Twitter when he posted. He posted that? Yeah. But do you know what? He's put up a good fight.
Do you know what though?
Stick to your guns. If you think it was filler and you didn't like it, well done.
An opinion is
that's
just
not
that,
me being taking the piss. Well done for standing up to it.
Yeah.
If you didn't like it,
look, at the end of the day, I know I said you're wrong. No one is wrong. I was just kidding. I was just kidding. I just don't like it when people have a different opinion to me. No, joking. No, but yeah, no, fair play. Like if that's your opinion, then you go for it. Louis Rogers said, way better than Captain Carter. The cameo from the big guy alone puts it there for me.
Just the Thanos. I assume he means Thanos.
I assume he means Thanos.
Yeah, that was good. I like that.
They
could have got Josh Brolin in to do the voice. Because I don't think he said anything. Did he?
A non-verbal part.
No, but they could have just given him. They could have just given him a line, like a stupid line. I don't know what it would have been.
Yeah.
But yeah, they could have given him a line. Just Thanos saying, "Oh shit" or something like that would have been entertaining enough.
Yeah.
Or just like one of them goes, "Oh shit."
I would have preferred if the
two
Watcher...
different halves. Oh shit, as they fall down.
I'd have preferred if the Watcher had just gone, that was inevitable.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Blue Jay said it was a really solid beginning to a 2-part finale. Had some parts where I was excited and shocked. Can't wait for next week.
Yeah, me too.
Keeper of the Sacred Flame said, the wait was worth it. I can't wait for next week. I want it. Kids, what are we watching tonight? Said, 1, not sure.
We've got a lot of lists this week in Put One to Assemble.
I know.
Or 2, but go on.
Right, okay. There's been a misspell and I was trying to work it out, but I get it now.
Okay, go ahead.
1, not sure Thanos is that easy to kill, though. Vision never really fought him, and Vision isn't Ultron. But Vision wasn't a killer.
No.
This is the thing.
He wasn't holding back.
No.
Well, this
look at how
shocked.
Look at how shocked every Avenger was when Thor chopped his head off in Endgame, at the beginning of Endgame. Yeah. Everyone was like, not cool, man. really, weren't they?
And
Even as the big bad.
He just chopped his head off with an axe.
Yeah.
It was a powerful axe, but he still just chopped his head off.
Yeah, but he didn't have stones anymore, and he was half crippled, wasn't he?
He did, yeah, but he threw the axe into his chest in Infinity War.
He did.
Yeah, that did proper damage.
Which is why he then said should have gone for the head.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the thing that I was saying to you, though, about toning down and having reasons behind toning down these big powers. And it's because Vision was never a killer, so I put it down to that a little bit. 2, great use of Ultron, 100% agree. And 3, great episode, finally bringing everything together. The multiverse's mightiest heroes.
Oh, we hope.
Robin, wow, this episode was great. The Watcher versus Ultron fight is one of the greatest fight scenes in the MCU, and the subplot with Nat and Clint killing bots and searching for Zola felt a little bit rushed, but was a lot of fun. Also, bringing back Strange Supreme is chef's kiss.
Yeah.
I don't know why I did it. That should have just said.
I don't know. We should have been on video for that one, hadn't we?
And then she said, I'm about 70% sure that the Strange we see in Far From Home is Strange Supreme. So she's still going with that thought.
I could see that. I could see it.
Because maybe, right, here's my thing now. He's got, like, the Watcher has gone to Supreme, yeah?
Yeah.
And said this. Now, if that is the same Supreme that ends up in Far From Home, what if whatever the result of this is needs to happen?
Yeah.
Which is why he agrees to do that spell for Peter, knowing that it's going to start the multiverse.
I get it, but I don't get it.
So, say that with this, all this that's going on now, and the Watchers said to Supreme, we need to get the gang together.
Yes.
And do this big fight.
I'm with you now, yeah.
And it's the only way they're going to win, you know, like the whole one scenario thing.
Yeah.
What if it needs to happen for whatever the outcome is?
Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
So he goes and starts the multiverse, basically, with Peter to get the actions in motion.
Yes, I get you, yeah. I don't think they'd give it away. I think that'd be too much of a giveaway now for No Way Home.
I'm just saying it'd be cool.
It'd be cool, but I think it'd be too much of a giveaway now.
Okay.
Sorry.
Whatevs. Overreactive. Overreactive. These names are like picking exactly what we're feeling at the time. Everything up to this moment was just fine in my opinion, but this episode was bonkers. That ending though, I can't wait to see how this ends.
Yeah.
JJ Lee said, it was amazing. I loved the scene where Ultron punched Watu and the entire universe changed around him. This episode was amazing at tying all the previous stories together.
Yeah.
One minor detail that triggered me a little was that the end of episode 7 didn't line up with this one, which is what you said.
Yeah, said that. Didn't like it.
Black Rista Sauron said, having read the comics, I was disappointed in them making Watu fighting with Ultron or even having him act casual, which just doesn't fit the character at all. I can't comment on that because I don't know the comics well enough to make a point on it. So,
but we trust you.
Fair enough. Okay.
We trust that you're right.
Sheldon Pink said, love this episode, but I have loved all the episodes. This was a fantastic build to the final episode, which I desperately hope will be an extended length considering the alternate assembly of Avengers.
That would be good.
Yeah.
If we got like an hour-long episode this week.
Do you reckon they'll do it, though?
No.
No, I don't.
It'll be 20 minutes.
Probably. Then Sass said, that's not how the Infinity Stones work. They only work in their local universe. Otherwise, every being who ever collected them in every universe would do the same thing and the multiverse wouldn't last.
To be fair, they didn't work in the TVA, and that was like out of the timeline. And he jumped out of the timeline. Can you imagine him just jumping out when he like smashed through the thing and just like thud into the floor because nothing works? Imagine. Dragging himself back through the hole. So he's got a bit of power. Wouldn't have had the same effect.
No,
wouldn't have been as scary. Wouldn't have got a season finale next week.
Then we had 333 say best one so far, hyped for the final next week.
Yeah.
Raymond said, how was he still watching Thor in episode 7 when Ultron had gotten all the stones? I mean, in the universe, Ultron gets all the stones. He'd already nuked it.
Exactly. See, it is. I'm not sure the only one who picked up on this.
Yeah.
It took me out of it a bit.
Kenneth said, and that was
language
amazing.
Yeah, I'm going to have so many bleeps to do in this episode.
I know, yeah. Hashtag what if Watu has to be in the MCU films going forward, 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I want live action Watu.
Me too. They'll have to embiggen his head.
And Biggin, we got it in there, Anthony. Well done.
Helena Bonham Carter in Alice in Wonderland.
It's got images from like wobbling from side to side.
Yeah. Then Ultron's commented.
The Ultron.
Didn't know that we were going to get such royalty.
Just because we're so famous now. We've got Ultron getting
he
involved
says,
in the podcast.
Humans.
Amazing. Love this.
This is the last tweet you'll ever receive from me. BRB. Going to nuke everyone. No. So
Not what it says.
No, it's not what it says. It says, quite possibly my favourite take on myself from illogical humans. Finally, the pathetic humans found a writer that understands my goals.
Amazing.
So he is writing as Ultron, to be fair, so I quite like that.
Fantastic.
I should have read that before I started making
You
my own
didn't
joke.
even
I'm really
know.
sorry.
I
No.
knew, but you didn't know. I
didn't know.
love that.
Andrew Beam, much like the Killmonger episode, this episode heavily improved the flaws of a great villain that was poorly utilised in the MCU. A lot of people really underestimate how powerful Ultron truly is and how far his comprehension can go.
Yeah, well, and the MCU version of him so far just didn't do him any favours. He was just a bit silly, for want of a better word. But I like the fact that we've got big, scary Ultron.
Definitely.
Even if, as much as I love him, Ross Marquand, I don't think did the best job with the voice. We needed like a scary sounding voice. Is that us?
Yeah, that's everyone.
Fantastic. Should we do the wrap up?
Yeah, let's do it.
Right, thanks for sending in your thoughts on the episode and thanks for listening to the show. Don't forget to come back next week for our review of What If Episode 9, the season finale. Finally, when we'll get to see Tony Stark fight Gamora and get a cliffhanger ending for season 2. And it'll be 7 years until we find out what happens. Fingers crossed, I'm wrong. You can find all our episodes at thatsuperherothing.com along with all of our social media links. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram and TikTok. On the website, you can also sign up for our email newsletter where you'll receive new episode alerts and news on upcoming shows. You can contact us on any of our socials and you can submit thoughts and theories for next week's Podfans Assemble. If you've enjoyed the show, please do consider rating and reviewing the show on Apple Podcasts or on Podchaser. It does really help us get seen by more people.
Yeah.
And we get more people to listen to the show. So yeah, please do that. Also, thank you for helping the show. Our patrons, we've got Geeky Nate, we've got Kenneth, we've got Keeper of the Sacred Flame, and we've got Stephanie. If you would also like to support the show, you can at thatsuperherothing.com/Patreon, or as we always say, patreon.com/thatsuperherothing. We've got a few episodes on there already. This month we are doing our MCU ranking, seeing where Shang-Chi sort of slots into things in our favourite MCU movies. We've also got the Outtakes Volume 1. God, this episode will just fill them. You don't know yet because of my super editing skills, but yeah, it will fill them. And then the other thing that we do on there, if you're a God level tier member, is you can do the live watch parties with us.
Yes.
We've just done one this week we
it
did
was
Daredevil,
yeah,
which was horrible. Not the watch party was laugh, but the film was horrible. And then next month, in honor of What If, we are doing Howard the Duck.
Yeah,
that is worth a Patreon subscription to hear us sit and listen with you live and just watch Howard the Duck. We've not seen it before.
No.
We've not heard good things.
This is going to be interesting.
We've heard about the sex scene. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting. So, yeah, head over to the website.
How awkward are we going to feel sat next to each other watching that?
Watching Howard the Duck sex scene. Oh, I don't know. I don't even know what I think about it. Anyway, other than that, though, thanks for listening. See you next week.
See you later, guys.
Bye.
Bye.